Okay. Cleaning this up real quick. Then we get into the nitty and the gritty. Nitty gritty dirt band. More like it. A lot of things done today. Done, I say. A lot of spam. Are you the author? That's all it said. Are you the author? What does it even mean? I should write back. Are you the spammer? So snarky. So snarky. Let me look at my list and see what needs to be. Let me look at my buffering schedule. What's up, Chad? I will not repeat that. I am not a fan of saying that. And I don't even know why. No idea why. It just feels not right to say. You know? Yeah, that'll work. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Oh, excuse me. I had an Asian garden salad. I was not sure serve the anthem, but I really forgot that. Very good. Knock that out. I have not gotten an anthology invite in quite some time. I don't know why. I used to get them all the time. Now it's like nobody even cares. I don't get them to do, but I think that's because I'm not relevant anymore, and I'm cool with that. My problem is I'm stuck in that in between. I'm no longer relevant in horror. Even though was I really all that relevant? I don't know. You could argue about that one, but I'm not relevant at all so far in thrillers. You know. It's like I'm, caught in a trap. Can't break out because I love you too much, baby. Oh wait, no, that's Elvis. Forget it. That's something else entirely. I'm not gonna look. I gotta look for something. I was all set to watch the Red Sox game yesterday. Got rained out, and I'm like, what am I gonna do now? This is not fun. This is not what I signed up for. Then I just watch random baseball games on MLB Network. Whatever. It's kind of a thing too. If I were to write a horror book, it'd probably sell. Evan Wood and Altitude, not so much. I'm in that limbo between genres where all my readers and friends are in horror. Yeah, I'm glad I broke away from that. I'm selling. There's that difference. I always say it's the 10 times themselves. So let's say you're a successful horror author and you sell 50 copies of your book. Okay? 50 copies. And you used to sell 50 copies, 50 copies of horror books. But now, because you're not writing horror books and they're getting older, now you're selling 10. So you're no longer up there. You're no longer somebody people are talking about. Then I'm doing crime thrillers and I'm selling 10 times. So I'm selling 500 copies of those books for this analogy. But that's low mid because these people are selling 1,500 or more copies. There's Keith. And so, I'm in that middle ground of I'm at the low end of selling crime thriller books, even though I'm selling 10 times what I was selling in horror. But because I'm not selling horror anymore, that has faded off. So I'm not getting invites. You didn't really miss much. Me and Chad talking. So that's kind of the thing. So for me, it's building up the crime thriller stuff and not looking back at the horror stuff. And eating this Little Debbie because they're friggin' delicious. This is my last one. But I'd still like to be invited to something. Right. Perfect analogy, disco fans. And then at some point, will it even matter? The lawn spray guy came. My wife had to leave the dog home because she had to take her aunt to the doctor's. And then, of course, the guy's he's got to come up and ring the doorbell. I'm like, what? Why? Just do your job. What if people aren't home? Baseball. All right, let me get to it. All right. Yeah, no, I was watching the highlights of that as they were innings, and I'm like, man, Framber don't look good. Yeah, actually he's referring to Shocker 3 Love Gum. Come on. This guy does the lawn. He does my lawn. Then he goes across the street and he does pool table guy. And then he does the mayor. There's Haas. So no writing for me this week. Yeah, I did see the flame tree thing. Man, they are freaking tough to get in though, because of 8 cents a word. Thank you for messaging me. I'll get back to you within the next 2 to 3 business days. Eating some carrots. I got my rejection today from Flash Frog for my ghost story. So they did say, and they said, listen, we really liked your story. It was much better than Keith's or Charlie's, but there were better stories than yours. As long as you tell me my story was better than theirs, I'm good. Look at Chad bragging. That was no big deal. It's like a 750 word flash fiction piece. One of the things on my list is to find a home for that and about 200 other stories, though. That is the real win. They said we reject you, but you still haven't had the worst story ever. It's a tie between Keith and Charlie's stories, which I'm going to be honest with you, I thought that was unprofessional of them to say. But I mean, I know they were telling the truth, so I guess that's all that really matters. Really. And I'll take real wins. I'll take real wins when I can find them. So my wife should be home soon because you got to change the dog. But I don't know if she's going to do it until after. Oh, I got to scratch my back. Until after she brings her aunt home or before, because she's got to come and just basically change the dog's diaper. But then she's going to leave the dog here while she goes to work till about 6 o'clock. Not a big deal. The dog barked at the idiot who rang the doorbell, and then and then she went back to lying down and going back to sleep. I did notice now that the guy did not ring the doorbells of either of my neighbors. So with that, no, it won't be. It'll stay whatever she is. A dog. A poodle shepherd, I think they call it. I got a new video went up this morning. Walk and talk went up yesterday. I will do a walk and talk tomorrow. I like doing that. I finally got my steps in yesterday too. You know what? This might actually work. Because I probably got to lose about 30 pounds before MandoCon next Thursday. So I'm going to try it and give it a shot. I did have that Asian salad today. Secret Asian salad. Secret. We can't all write clean first drafts. You know, you should try though. I'm not going to touch my, speaking of clean first drafts, I'm not going to touch my Southern Gothic Noir thriller until after MandoCon now, I've decided. I'm going to do another pass through it, give it some distance, and then beta readers. See what happens. I like my ghost story for that, though. Very cool. Very cool, Haas. I noticed them on the Substack, as us young kids say. I'll do one of those binge reads on all of them. Not when you're done, but like by the end of this week. Now I just got to find another home for my ghost story. But one of the things I have is this week's duo trope from yesterday I haven't looked at. We'll see if anything new and exciting pops up. And not just for that story, but for really any story. That's kind of the idea this week, is to catch up and get stuff like that done that I always put off to the side because I'm like, I gotta write. Hey, hopefully you build up some following there, Haas. I'm gonna get you a Hulkamania headband to wear for walking talks. Keith, you beat that that little voice in the back of your head. You squash that. You squash that voice. He's only going to get you in trouble. Or maybe a Weibo and a Hollywood Hogan bandana. I mean, you could do both, to be honest with you. Back in the day, my brother did have the Hulkamania headband that he would wear whenever every Saturday morning my parents would go food shopping at Food Town in Middletown, New Jersey, and they'd leave me and my brother home, and they'd say, "Do not fight. Like, we're not going to fight. We're going to wrestle," because then wrestling came on, on TBS from Georgia Championship Wrestling. And my brother would put his his Hulkamania headband on. And we'd beat each other up. Ah, good times. I say that all the time, and I realize, you know where I got that from? From Keith. I'll give him credit for that. Keith back in the day when we hung out 30, 40, 80 years ago would say that all the time. Ah, good times. I learned that one from Keith. JD Haas. JD Haas. Have guns, will travel. JD Haas. Lead guitar and driver of the Winnebago. JD Haas, problem solver. Have typewriter, will travel. Oh, back in the day, Frank. Carrying a typewriter around that I don't know. It seems like just heavy. Where the hell's Nick? Your pledge is your love. That's all anybody needs. How deep is your love? How deep is your love? Oh, nuts. Yeah, Keith. Everybody else paid $5. I didn't pay $5. Yeah, where is Nick? Where's Lorraine? I hope Lorraine's all right. Come on. Ugh. 92 degrees here. Feels like 4008. Lorraine must be building a clay oven to cook her pizzas in. Yeah. She's like, you know what? What's the next step for me with these frozen pizzas? Clay ovens. Tonight, my wife promises we'll make shark cookies. And if we do, I'll be eating one on my walk and talk tomorrow. Unless I eat all of them tonight. She said last night, she's like, oh, listen, I don't do like the whatever frosting, whatever you do with them. She's like, but I'm just gonna make them blue. We're just gonna dye them the cookies blue. And I said, I mean, technically sharks are more of a gray. I said, well, I don't have gray food coloring, so you're getting sugar cookie color or you're getting blue. So I guess we can go with blue. House says, so funny that you guys are getting the heat wave, and out here in Arizona it's cloudy, rainy, and around 80. Well, I'm not getting the heat wave. I'm in Florida. This is literally just Florida. Yeah, shark cookies for Shark Week, but she's going to make a batch tonight. Hopefully, we've been saying this all week. She'll make a batch tonight so we can test them, make sure that they're good. No, the Shark Weeks are basically when we're watching shark shows, so we can't eat them all up. But Nick can't have sugar, and neither can Tom. And I don't think she's going to make a sugarless sugar cookie. That would just be a cookie. So they don't get them. They can just get to look at them while the rest of us are eating them. Delicious. Hopefully. That's kind of the goal. If I can tell her they look more like dolphins. You know what? When you get here, why don't you tell her that, Frank? See how quick she throws that carrot cake in the garbage. Because sugar is meat. No, they're just not allowed to have sugar. Tom's not because is diabetes or whatever he's got. I don't know, whatever the hell he's got. Tom's birthday yesterday. If Tom jumps in, I doubt he will because his mom's in town this week. Yeah, you still want her to like you, is right. Which is why I'm not saying it, because I also would want her to like me. Although she does walk in while we're live, I'm going to tell her what you said. Throw you under the bus. Nobody ever asked where the heck is Tom. Yeah, Tom just makes an occasional appearance here. And he says, where the hell is Tom? I'm hoping she gets here while I'm doing this, because I'm going to do like an hour. And then I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to take a freaking nap. There was AI Frank that said that. Okay. Frank, not only have I finished testing, I'm currently on the 6 Happen Leonard book. He didn't ask you that though. You're getting way ahead of his questions. You're supposed to wait for the question from Frank. I had a very good crime thriller publisher that I've worked with in the past. Their public relations lady sent me a message yesterday. And I look back, I'm like, well, this isn't real. But it was real because it's the same chain that I've been. There's Tom Duffy. Birthday boy. 62 years old, Frank. You don't look a day over, Tom. You don't look a day over 60. Chad, you're going to have to repeat that for me again. later when I'm paying attention. Yeah. And the lady sent me a message. She's like, listen, we have a new anthologies coming out, and we're looking for blurbs from crime thriller writers. We were wondering if you would like to read and blurb it, and then eventually, when it comes out, I think in December, then do obviously if you want to do a review of it on your channel. I was like, you know what? This is what I'm talking about. Trying to get noticed in this genre. He does look great for 62, doesn't he? So I was excited now. I'm like, yes, send that to me. I'm like, oh man, what if it's awful? But it's a lot of really, really good names in the crime fiction genre. So I'm looking forward to that. Going through some emails now. It's all the same crap over and over. 3 spam, just boom, spam. I looked down, the spam, there was nothing, and it said 3. Hunter Shea. It's not spam, it's just a thing. Window look. There's nobody out there. It's 92 degrees out. That guy just left. I haven't seen my Chinese lady or her Spanish husband running in the last 3 days. I guess it's so hot. Their skin glistening in the sun. Then they pass out, dehydrated. I wish we had some of the things on here that we have on Twitch, though, like next page and window look and me singing. Back scratcher. We can just give direction in the feed and you'll oblige, or is that only for Frank? Because Buck, I might have to go to the bathroom in a little bit, Keith. So we're going to hold off on that one. Don't forget to tell the Chinese lady to not run by the window door. She never does. That's because we'll be there soon, so they know they have to hunker down. Yeah. So I heard correctly last night that your Red Sox have like a 14-game winning streak. We're not going to talk about that. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Armand tells the story. Hydrate. There were so many good ones. Yeah, your spam. I didn't want to talk to you about all of my graphic novels I've done. Because guess what I've not done? Graphic novels, you moron. Yeah, I said it like that. And it's been points to have you do feminist. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm doing that for free a lot of the time. So, yeah, ask where Nick is. They've discovered the word of the day. I mean, there's so many. I still have about 500,000 Mondo coins. I can't use anymore. Oh, that's right. Yeah. I forgot about that. Get all those Mondo coins. Yeah. Word of the day, spleen. This is what we're going to do. We're going to pick a Monday, maybe next Monday, maybe a Monday in the future. And I'm going to be like, listen, I'm doing here, and I'm also doing Twitch. Every Monday I do that. But I'm going to say, everybody, go on Twitch, and we're gonna talk there. I'm going to ignore everybody else, and we're going to spend some points. Maybe I'll have to just go on so I can actually see you spend the points. Good times. Wild boar, Frank says, and then there's that little weird symbol in front of it. I don't know what it is. Frank says, I'm not going to do it. Tom is. He's got to spend those points. I'm just then then we're not going to do it. Yeah, as it says, wild boar. Well, what did you say? And again, there's some weird symbol on it. You did? All right, so here's weird. When that symbol comes up, I hover my mouse over it, and it says Javelina. But I guess it is. What do you call it? It is. Come on. That's funny. Yeah, it literally says wild boar. Yeah. Haas's favorite animal. He throws them. Oh, just can delete. Remember, it did that one other time. Somebody had posted it, I think maybe you, and it had come up as something completely different. And then I took a picture of it and shared it. Hey, those animals, they tear up our fences, eat all of our fruit, irritating bubonic plague carrying varmints. I mean, besides that, they're kind of cute, right? I mean, if you strip them of all those negatives, I'm sure there's some positives, Haas. The problem, too, is you probably get rid of like 10 of them, and then like 4,000 of them get birthed in the next, I don't know, 12 hours. And so now Gmail's pissing me off because it's just going super, super slow. So you're going to force me to do something else. I wish my wife would get home. So once I'm done here, I can go take a nap. Get a little reading in. I taped a couple 3 Shark Fest shows over the last couple of days, but then last night I was like, I watched one of them. Nah, I don't want to watch one of these. I'll just watch baseball on. I'll mute it because I hate most of the announcers. And I'm going to say this, and you're not supposed to say this. It seems like there are probably about 4 or 5 teams now that have a woman in the booth doing color commentary. not the play-by-play. And I'm like, why? I would rather listen to boring Ron Darling because at least that dude played baseball. It's like the MLB Network. Every show has a woman on it now. And I'm like, why? Have her like parade around or something in a bikini every hour and then go away. I don't think you're supposed to say that. There's an okay one on counting shark populations. I think I taped that one. Basically, if any of them were new, I taped them. But not necessarily like, oh, I'm going to watch all of these. But I guess I would imagine eventually I'll watch all of them. Even if it's like, I'm going to play this, I'm going to play my matching game, whatever, on my phone. Because those are fun. They let women play banana ball. Yeah, that's not. I have my opinion on that. I saw it. You know what? We went and saw it back in the day when it was $18 a ticket and all you can eat and drink. Wonderful. I'm like, I saw this once. I'll never do this again. This is not baseball. This is for the kids. This is entertainment. This is stop playing music. The guys at bat. Stop doing backflips. You're the first base coach. Why are these dudes on the dugout doing striptease dances? I remember I filmed that one and sent it to the ball players that were living with us at the time. And I'm like, hey, would you do this? And they were like, oh my God, that is awful. I'm thinking, yeah, these dudes are hopefully getting paid some decent money for doing this now. Back then, probably not. Spoiler, there's more sharks now. Oh, everybody's complaining that all the sharks are dying. Which is it? I tried watching that banana bowl, so I got secondhand embarrassment. Frank enjoys it. I don't enjoy it. I like seeing the clips where, like, I don't know, Roger Clemens comes out, or a bunch of players come out. I did watch I think it's an ESPN documentary called like The Clowns of Baseball or something like that. They did a documentary on the Indianapolis Clowns that used to be back in the Negro Leagues, and then the dude from the Savannah Bananas, he basically brought the team back. So that's one of the team, like the Party Animals. They have like whatever 4 or 6 teams now. I thought that was kind of neat. I think it helps. I think it brings more fans in. Frank saw it. He liked it. I think it brings more fans in, but I'm already a fan, and I'm an old school fan, so I don't want to see that stuff. I just want to see baseball. That's all. And I was lucky back then to have seen it. That was probably before COVID, I'm thinking. We went. And they did like a thing where you could, for getting tickets. And I would just put in, I'm like, hey, I know at some point we're going to go to Savannah again. We enjoy going to Savannah and staying over. And I remember I put in, and it was like, oh, it's a game in like 2 weeks, and we have 2 tickets, and I'm like, let's just go. Then we'll go and we'll spend the night in Savannah. They have a really good a chocolate bar, they call it. Delicious. Just like I don't even like it when an MLB hat has his hat cocked, let alone has his shirt open to show a six pack. I I am old school. You immediately have to play with the bill. I hate that straight bill on a hat that all the kids do now. I don't even like that. Like show that you're wearing the hat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but the Indianapolis Clowns demonstrate that trick plays and goofing is also old school, so it's old school cool. Yeah, yeah, that was a good documentary. And again, I sat through a Savannah Bananas game. I was impressed by what he's doing. And again, that was in there when they were in the Coastal League, and there was like 6,000 people in that stadium. And now they're selling like, major league stadiums out. So I get it. I think it's awesome what they're doing. I just, as a baseball fan, I don't want to watch that. You just have to be careful that you might turn hay from watching Banana Ball. I'm secure my manliness. Yeah, well, nobody's as secure as you are, though. That's the problem. Yeah, the whole thing is just. And again, you walk up when they were just at their own stadium. You walk up and all the players are just standing out there shaking your hand as you walk in. I mean, it was cool. The guy who's running everybody's out there thanking you for showing up. I probably ate about 8 hot dogs that night. I bought his book, the first one. I don't think I read it. In fact, I don't even know where that is. So I'm gonna have to find it. Where is that book? It might be over there. I'm gonna have to look. Anyway, so I'm like, it was all it was a spectacle that, as a person who enjoys entertainment, I thought, okay, that's kind of neat. But as a person who loves baseball as much as I do, I thought it was an affront, a wicked affront. It's if the devil played baseball. I just like the fact that they basically were like, you know what, we don't want to do this Coastal League crap anymore. We're going to do our own thing. We're going to make way more money selling our own tickets and not having to follow any of your rules or anything else. So we're out. Like when they came to Jacksonville, I think it was like 2 nights. They sold out within like 8 minutes or something ridiculous. Like even the people that work there, if you weren't scheduled to work, because they have their own crew that comes in. So if you weren't scheduled to work, you had to buy a ticket. And I know our friend, she couldn't even buy a ticket. She couldn't even get a ticket. Get a lottery thing to put in for tickets and stuff, which is crazy. So I get it. It's great for the kids. You know what I'm saying? I think her cousin and her husband took their kids, their boys, to see it, and they loved it. Like, all right. I'm just a crotchety old man. I don't like all that. I don't like all that flim flam. That's what us kids call it. Flim flam. I've never done drugs in my life. And I say that to say I feel like an addict, or how I perceive an addict would feel by not writing this week. Okay? Because I all of a sudden I got a billion ideas for stories, and let's do this, and I'm like, stop. I'm not writing again until Sunday morning. Me, Peter, and Chad are gonna write. No, Frank. Frank doesn't show up anymore. And I'm like, all right. I just got to push all this aside and just get other stuff done, right? Not worry about any of this stuff. It's hard. I want to dive in so bad. I want to dive in and write. Nice, Haas. You know, you can interrupt the baseball talk. I mean, the adults are having a conversation. The hell's Nick? You figure baseball talk, Nick would jump in. Maybe he's on location at a shoot. It's gonna be fun when I pick Nick and Peter up, because Nick comes in at 12:30, so Peter's there at 12 next Thursday. They don't know each other, and I don't think they even know what each other looks like, really. So I'm wondering if this would be like two people just kind of standing kind of near each other and be like, Nick, Peter, get in. And they're gonna be like, oh, that was you. Oh. And Peter's like, this dude kept staring at me like he wanted to date me, and I was a little worried. I'd be like, oh, yeah, that was Nick. You should have realized that was Nick. Yeah, definitely. No, definitely Nick. Okay. So again, I will be here. Tomorrow will be a walk and talk. I'll do. Friday, I will be here. Saturday, my wife will be at her mom's. So maybe I'll just record a couple of videos or something, but I won't be around Saturday. Saturday, I'll be watching baseball. Sunday, I start writing again with Pete and Chad. And then I have a thing. There's a new store opening in town that wants to take my books. And I know the lady who is opening said store. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, we could talk. I got a bunch of books in my closet. I feel like Nick would just hide in the restroom until the appropriate keyword was said. Then he'd bust out and say, did someone say fake girlfriend? Yeah. Exactly. Chad, were you in Spinal Remains? Was that your book? Spinal Remains, a collection of stories? There's Mike Lee. Yeah, that's you, right? Apparently, that book is on Walmart. I'm looking for books to tag as products. I'm going through random people's names, and then I don't know if I've read that or not. I know if it's on if it's a Kindle Unlimited book, then I definitely have it. I think I got 40 bajillion books on my Kindle right now. Well, I'm gonna have to go through and read it. I was like, you know what? I want to write more detective stories. Me and Tom wrote a couple of trilogies, and I really enjoyed that. I'm like, I want to come up with my own detective book, and then maybe a series. Again, not self-publishing it. Find a publisher, and there's a ton of publishers for that stuff. Win a Seamus Award, which is given it for the best detective book of the year. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna look at some anthologies that I'll purchase something, And so I look and it's like year's best detective stories 3 something. I'm like, oh, and I'm like, oh wait, I already own this. I already own this on Kindle. So then I got to go through, scroll through my Kindle, and I find it, and I'm like, oh, I own all 5 of these that at some point I purchased many years ago, because it was like 700 books down, and they group them now, which is nice. And I'm like, I haven't read any of these. Like, well, I guess I'm not going to buy any more books that I already own. I just thought that was funny. I was just like, I already own this. So maybe don't worry about it. But I got to read this other book and give them a blurb. I'm reading the Paul Tremblay print book, the short story collection one. And there's actually some really good stuff in it. I like Paul's stuff, but there's some really, really solid stories, and then a couple of nonfiction things in there that I really enjoy so far. Ow. I got to do something with this. I'm not going to cut it up, but man, there's a lot of dead ends on this thing. Speaking of dead ends, that was Nick's. Nick, you got 2 minutes to jump in. Let's do this. He's not going to jump in. That was a hell of a segue. You know what? You should be impressed by that. That was all off the top of my head, too. I did not have a script. Herman, have you ever revisited an old story that you started early in your career but felt you couldn't quite pull it off at the time? Yeah, Chelsea Avenue, that book, which became a trilogy. I started it about 15 years before it was actually finished. I got a little story for you. Keith read an early version, and he did not like it. He was very mean about it. He's like, there's too much going on. There's too many characters. It doesn't make any sense, whatever he said. And I was like, you're right. And I put it off to the side. And then I literally rewrote. Yeah, you read it like however long that was, 20 something years ago. And I put it off to the side. And then when I picked it up again, I read it and I was like, yeah, this is not great writing. Obviously, I've learned a lot in 15 years. And I basically just I stripped it of all the characters and all of the a lot of the stuff from it. And then I rewrote it. And then I sold it to Devil Dog Press. And they were like, there's definitely another book in this. I'm like, we can make this a trilogy. Yeah, you read the I think it was probably a novella at that point. It's probably like 18,000 words or so. It wasn't very long because I wasn't writing books then. Yeah, you were trying to get in my pants. You're like, if it takes getting reading this book, I'll read it. Oh, nice. The story, not Keith. Yeah, Keith is very mean when he reads my stuff. I have cannibalized a ton of old ideas for short stories. And that's why I say I'm glad I am old and I grew up when not everything you wrote automatically got published on Amazon, because I feel like a lot of writers today at some point are going to be like, man, I'm embarrassed by this stuff that I put out back then. Kind of like people are like, well, I stopped smoking cigarettes, but now I vape. But now I realize that now I'm getting brain cancer from this. Maybe I should have, I don't know, not done that. It's the same. It's almost the same thing. It's the same basic. It's the same basic principle anyway. Yeah, see, Keith's doing it. You have ideas that at the time you think these are really good ideas, and then they don't sell, or you don't bother um, submitting them to markets or whatever, and they just kind of sit, and you're like, there's something wrong with this story, or it's been rejected 42 times, 47 times, whatever, and you're like, you know what? Maybe I could take this idea, or you're writing something, and you're like, wow, I remember this character from another short story that didn't work, and then I'm going to use that. So I agree. Every now and then I find old work I did when I was either a teenager or in college, and while I can see how my prose changed and enjoyed that part, oh boy, the stories themselves. Yep. Yeah, retelling, Keith. Rewriting it from scratch, I got so many rejections. Yeah. I find it's easier when I'm taking some of those older shorts, and I don't do it all that often. Sometimes I'll think of something, uh, and I'll be like, "Oh, okay, I remember that. I remember I wrote this zombie deer story, and I submitted it to like 15 different places, and it got rejected every time. And it wasn't a really good story, so I'm glad it never got published. But then somebody brought it up, and I was like, "Oh, I think I still have a print copy of that somewhere in a box." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm never gonna do anything with that story. No, 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 thanks." Although my old roommate was adamant they go back and finish a story I wrote years ago that I ended up using as a Bible of things not to do when writing, so something was there he enjoyed. People are nuts. Speaking of nuts, I'm out of here. Thanks for hanging out with me. Again, I dropped a video a couple hours ago. Please watch and watch the ads. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching it later on and watching the ads. Thank you for watching a walk and talk tomorrow and watching the ads. Thank you for popping back in here on Friday. We'll do this again live at noon Eastern Standard Time and watch the ads. Everybody, you have a great, great middle of your week.